Hey, we're gonna wear more normal clothes, but I thought that maybe the flare launcher that I have on this US Air Force Mixmaster kind of merited its own video. This flare launcher is made by Lewis Machine and Tooling. They are one of the contractors that make the M203. But this is a flare launcher in 37 millimeters. What does that mean? Well, it's not a destructive device. You don't need a background check for it. The barrel doesn't have any rifling. It can be shipped right to your door. Right? Construction-wise, it's made very similarly to the 203. It has the same controls. You push that lever, you open it up, you put your flare in it, snap it forward. It's got a safety. You take the safety off, you pull the trigger. Right? So it's built pretty similarly. I've compared. I actually have a 203 receiver that I have not put a barrel on yet, but they look like they are built slightly different, and the dimensions are slightly different. But overall, it's kind of the right thing. Like it looks the part, and it's kind of made similarly, but not exactly the same. Okay, let me just flip the other side. So where did I get this? I first became aware of these flare launchers from Tim on Military Arms Channel. He put one on one of the retro Brownells rifles, I think in like 2016 or 2017. I was into military rifles, but I was not really into AR clones at the time. I was into more older rifles. And I thought that, you know, because it was on Brownells, they'd kind of hold it for a while. But now, if you know, it's 2023, Brownells is kind of limited their retro line. They still make parts, but they don't really make the rifles anymore. And on top of that, LMT seemed to make like an initial run of these flare launchers, but they're almost unobtainium now, right? So I always kind of regret it not getting one. At the time, I was not making as much money as I do now, and the flare launcher was like $1,200, which is a lot for like a little bit of a, like, mostly a toy. But now that we know like that they're hard to come by, you know, $1,200 is not too bad. I recently saw one on Gunbroker sell for like $4,000 or something like that, and that's fucking nuts, right? So Colt also made one, did a limited run, but that one needed a background check because the receiver was the same, but they made a 37 millimeter barrel for it. And will Colt make those again? I'm thinking probably not, but this is not like a company, like both these companies are not like, oh, we're making a limited run and like it's something collectible. It's like, you know, there's no promises that they're only gonna do one run. So they could come back or they might not. So I have no idea. So LMT actually indeed still makes these, right? So it's 6 years or so since those initial runs, but they actually make them. The reason they don't make them as often is because LMT is typically fulfilling other contracts, especially you know, outside of the United States for other militaries, right, or police, and basically they just don't have time to make these, right? So I got this one last year in 2022, and I got it from the website Titan Defense. And Titan Defense is one of LMT's kind of official distributors, and you can set a in-stock notification email for it, and they will send you an email when they come. I've heard that maybe there's another batch coming down the line, but you can call them. The people there are really nice. I got this one just by chance. I actually didn't do an email notification. I was on Reddit, and I saw that there was a Reddit post on was it Gun Deals, the Gun Deals subreddit, and someone, basically, I was too late. I think that post was like 10 hours old or something, and they just got all scooped up, and I was like, fuck, I missed it. And I'm like, when is it gonna come back in stock? And I don't think it was gonna come in stock anytime soon. So the reason I got this was because deep in the comments, someone had bought one, and they had the idea that they would take off this 37 millimeter barrel and buy a 40 millimeter one. You could either buy the 9-inch or the 12-inch, and they were gonna slap that on and get a tax stamp for a destructive device down the road, right? Well, first of all, that's kind of a dumb idea because you can just get the 203 receivers. You don't need to get this one. But second of all, these receivers are different. you cannot put the 40mm barrel onto the 37mm flare launcher, right? And if that were the case, you'd probably have to get a background check for this. So the reason you don't have to get a background check for it is because LMT has designed it in such a way that you can take off this 37mm barrel, but you cannot put a 40mm barrel onto it. So that person was bummed out, and they actually canceled their order. And I just saw that they had canceled it on Reddit, or they said that they canceled it. I went to look back on Titan Defense's website, and look, lo and behold, it was in stock, and it was the last one. And it was because it was that person's order that they had canceled. And I had confirmed that with the person at Titan Defense. I said, wow, these are out of stock. How did that one come in stock? Like, well, he called me basically to make sure that I wanted it. And I asked him, like, why was there one in stock? I thought they were all gone. And he said, oh, someone actually had returned it. And I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. Great. So these can be very pricey. I would never buy one at $4,000. Just put in a, notification or ask Titan Defense when they're gonna maybe get them back in stock again, and just do the waiting game. You can pay $3,000 or $4,000 for it if you want to get now. I don't think it's worth that much. And even if you did have the $4,000, I just checked Gunbroker. I don't see any fucking for sale. So like, it's not about the price, it's just about availability. And if you want one, just wait. So get in line. I know it's a long wait, but just put your name down and fucking forget about it. And then one day you'll get an email, and then you can buy one, right? So that's how I got this. That's how you can get one. You can also just get a real 203 and pay the tax stamp, and it's around the same price. And I see that the receivers and the barrels are somewhat in stock if you look on Gunbroker, but you'll have to get the tax stamp. So this one is more of a just, it looks nice. I don't have to worry about it. You can cross state lines and not have to like notify anyone. You can go to the range and no one's gonna like really ask questions if you just say, hey, it's a flare launcher or whatever, right? So that's kind of the story of how I got this. I got extremely lucky, and I hope if you want one, that's how you can get one. They're still available. They're still making them. LMT just doesn't give a shit about civilians, really. They are mostly interested in fulfilling their contracts, and so it goes. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope that was interesting to you. If you have any questions about getting your own LMT M203, please let me know in the comments. And please subscribe if you are liking this content, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.